Roman.
I'm standing at the entrance of my building, wondering what the hell was wrong with Ella this morning. She seemed so uneasy, distant even. But before I can untangle another thread of that thought, I see her. She's running toward me like a spooked deer, her eyes wide and brimming with something that looks dangerously like fear. My heart doesn't usually do somersaults, but it damn well does one now. Ella, what's... I breathe out as she all but slams into me, wrapping her arms around me like a lifeline. Something unfamiliar coils inside me. It's a strange blend of concern and an almost primal sense of possession. "Someone's following me," she says, looking behind her frantically before burying her head into my chest. I have to stifle a possessive growl as my eyes shimmer to alpha crimson, peering into the darkness to try to make out if someone is truly behind her. But I don't see or smell anything at all. It's like a switch is flipped, not just concern, but something more raw. Possessiveness. Anger. Emotions I've had under lock and key for years. I take her hand and lead her back inside, keying in the code to my floor. She's silent all the while, holding tight onto my hand. The key turns in the lock with a soft click, and I push open my apartment door.
"You can sit wherever you like. Make yourself at home."
Ella glances around at the minimalist furnishings, a mix of dark wood and steel, before settling on a leather sofa. She's visibly shaken, her eyes darting around as if expecting the walls to close in on her. "Would you like something to drink? A glass of bourbon might help calm your nerves." She looks up at me, her eyes meeting mine with uncertainty, before she finally nods. "Sure, I could use something strong." I go to the kitchen, pick up a crystal decanter, and pour the amber liquid into 2 glasses. As I hand one to her, her fingers lightly touch mine, and it sends an unbidden shiver up my spine. What the hell is wrong with me? I can't do this right now. She takes a sip and immediately sputters, clearly unaccustomed to the strong flavor. "Wow, that's something." "Sorry, I should have warned you. It's an acquired taste." A moment of awkward silence hangs between us before she finally breaks it.
"I've been followed home the past 2 nights.
She blurts out. The glass in my hand almost shatters. "Followed? This is my prey. Who dares to interfere? Are you serious?" I ask, struggling to keep my voice steady.
"Yes, and it's scaring the hell out of me. I don't know who it is."
The words hit me like a physical blow, detonating a rage I've never felt before. A wave of fury washes over me, blinding in its intensity. The glass in my hand is perilously close to shattering. I want to unleash hell upon whoever dared to touch, no, even think of touching what's mine. I hate how she makes me feel, how she manages to stir emotions that jeopardize the walls I've spent years fortifying. But there's something about her, something that makes me abandon reason. "Jay," she starts, sensing my internal battle, "are you okay?" "I should be asking you that," I grind out, each word laced with an anger I can barely leash. "From now on, I'm walking you home every evening." She looks at me, her eyes softening, and for a moment, I see something like relief wash over her features. It shouldn't please me as much as it does. "Are you sure? I don't want to be a burden." I should leave it at that, but instead I find myself enveloping her in a hug, inhaling the scent of her hair, committing the feel of her to memory. Possessiveness claws at me, and my grip tightened for a split second. "You could never be a burden to me, Ella. Let me help you with this," I say, trying to keep my emotions out of my voice, and honestly, I have no idea if I'm succeeding. She looks up at me, her eyes searching for sincerity in mine.
"Thank you, Jay. I didn't know who else to turn to."
This vulnerability in her voice sends a strange ache through my chest. It's an unfamiliar sensation, and it shakes me to my core. My hand moves towards her chin as I pull her in for a gentle kiss on her lips, a kiss that completely takes me by surprise, yet I am powerless to resist. This fucking woman is bewitching me, and I'm allowing her to. I walk her to her apartment later, my eyes scanning every shadow, every corner. When we reach her door, she turns to me.
"Thanks again, Jay."
I hate that name, Jay. It's an alias, a cover, but hearing her say it makes me feel like a fraud. "Don't mention it," I say, "but what I mean is, /I tear the world apart for you and you don't even know it, /." After ensuring she's safe in her apartment, I make my way back to mine, my steps heavy and my thoughts a tangled mess. The moment I'm through the door, I dial Caden. I need you to do something for me, I say without preamble.
What's up?
Caden asks, his voice tinged with curiosity. Ella's being followed. I need you to check the surveillance around her workplace. Get back to me. A stalker? You think it's her father, Leonardo? I ponder his question. Would Leonardo go to these lengths? Somehow, I doubt it. No, I'll call him, but I doubt it's him. After hanging up with Caden, I dial Leonardo. It's a call I've been avoiding, but now it seems necessary.
Have you sent anyone to track Ella?
I ask without wasting time. He must know it's me. There's a long pause. No, and why would I? She's not part of this world anymore. Make sure it stays that way, I warn before hanging up. I sit back, my mind racing. Whoever this person is, they have no idea who they're dealing with. Ella is mine, and I'll go through hell and high water to make sure she stays that way, safe, unharmed, untouched until the time comes when I get to ruin her. I sip my bourbon, the amber liquid doing nothing to douse the fire growing within me. Whoever is after Ella, they're about to find themselves in a world of hurt. And they have no one to blame but themselves. The apartment feels colder now, and it's not just the absence of her presence. My thoughts are a turbulent sea as I sit alone, staring at the unfinished glass of bourbon on the coffee table. I wonder if calling her to check if she's okay would be a good idea. The fact that I'm even thinking about this bothers me. I'm the alpha, I don't hover. I protect what's mine. But what if she doesn't want to be mine? I had a plan. I had a goddamn plan. But with her very presence, that plan is starting to look more like a pit I've dug for myself, a pit with no discernible way out. My mind won't fathom the idea of her being in danger, of her belonging to anyone else but me. Caden's earlier words echo in my head, don't underestimate her. I haven't, but I'm beginning to understand that I might have underestimated myself, or at least, my own reactions and emotions where she's concerned. I'll keep my promise, I'll protect her, keep her safe from this mysterious stalker and even from her own father if need be. Whoever is stalking her needs to understand one irrevocable truth. They're not just shadowing her, they're encroaching on a territory that I've claimed, even if only in the recesses of my own twisted mind. But as I sit there, nursing another glass of bourbon, I can't shake off a newfound dread, and keeping her safe, what part of me is at risk? Caden's words come back to haunt me yet again, only this time they're like a punch to the gut. Don't overthink it, he'd said. But how can I not? Because for the first time in a long while, I'm facing an enemy I don't know how to fight, the unknown depths of my own emotions. I might resent the loss of control she incites in me, but that loss of control extends to an uncompromising promise. A promise that anyone who dares threaten what I've so impulsively come to consider mine will meet an end as merciless as the feeling she's awakened in me. And as I ponder over this unnerving revelation, I can't help but wonder if, in the intricate chess game that is my life, I've just put my own king into check.
Ella.
As I unlock my apartment door and step inside, I can't help but feel an odd sense of relief mixed with confusion. Tonight was a roller coaster of emotions, fear, vulnerability, and an unexpected comfort in the form of Jay. My fingers absent-mindedly drift to the place on my arm where he held me, as if I could still feel the warmth there. "I'll walk you home from now on," he'd promised. Something about the way he said it felt almost territorial. As if he was staking his claim, making sure the world knew I was off limits. But that couldn't be right. This was Jay, the guy who always kept a safe emotional distance. Could he be the same person who'd held me tightly last night, his grip almost desperate? I shake my head, trying to clear my thoughts. I need to focus on the more immediate problem: someone's been following me. 2 nights in a row. And though it's terrifying, the presence of Jay beside me on those nighttime walks makes it more bearable. Is this how I'm going to live now? Looking over my shoulder, but relying on the protection of a man I barely know? The alarm blares, wrenching me from a restless sleep filled with shapeless fears and half-remembered dreams. I groan and hit snooze, buying myself just a few more minutes of oblivion. But eventually, the day demands my attention, and with a heavy sigh, I push the covers off and start my morning routine. Walking to work, my eyes constantly flit to the side, scanning reflections in windows and watching the cars that pass by a little too slowly. Every crunch of gravel or footsteps makes me tense. Last night, with Jay by my side, there was a semblance of safety, but now I'm alone and hyper-aware that someone has been following me. The coffee shop is busy as usual, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. But even amidst the morning rush, I can't shake off the prickling sensation on the back of my neck. The sensation that eyes are on me. My coworkers sense my tension but misattribute it to stress or fatigue. I let them believe that. It's easier than explaining the murky truth. Rough night? Sarah, one of my coworkers, asks as she steams milk for a cappuccino. You could say that. I reply, forcing a smile. Lunch break is no better. The small park where I usually find solace on a quiet bench now seems fraught with potential dangers. Every stranger is a suspect, every sound a threat. I eat my sandwich hurriedly, not tasting it, my eyes darting around. Throughout the afternoon, I keep an eye on the clock, my apprehension growing as the minutes tick by. Finally, it's time to close up shop. I clean and organize with a mechanical efficiency, my thoughts miles away. As I put on my coat and grab my purse, the bell above the coffee shop door jingles, and my heart leaps into my throat. I turn around and for a split second, I feel both disappointment and relief. It's neither the unknown follower nor Jay. See you tomorrow. I tell Sarah and the others, my voice more high-pitched than I would have liked. They wave, their faces showing concern they don't voice. When I step out into the evening, the air is thick with the onset of night. I clutch my phone in one hand, my keys in the other, a makeshift weapon. But then I see him. Jay, leaning against a lamppost, a shadowy figure with an unreadable expression. The tension in my shoulders eases, just a little. Is it ironic that the man who initially puzzled and frustrated me is now a source of comfort? I don't know. What I do know is that when I see him, the fear that's been gnawing at me all day retreats to a hidden corner of my mind, if only for a few hours. Ready to go? He asks, his voice carrying a note of something I can't quite place. Yes. I reply, and we begin the familiar walk. Each step feels heavier tonight. Is it the weight of our new reality? Or is it the tension that seems to hum between us? I want to ask him why he's doing this. Is it just kindness? Protection? Or something more? But every time I open my mouth to frame the question, I lose my nerve. I'm also afraid of what his answer might be. Here we are, Jay says as we reach my apartment door. Thank you, I say, feeling like those two words are so inadequate for what I really want to express. It's no problem, Ella, he replies, but the look in his eyes is anything but casual. It's intense, fierce even, as though daring anyone to challenge him. I unlock my door and step inside, offering him a small wave as he turns to leave. Once inside, I lean against the door, my heart pounding in my chest. There are so many questions, so many emotions, but for now, they all have to wait. One thing is clear though, whatever is happening between us is getting complicated. I'm relieved to have him by my side, and yet, I can't shake the feeling that with every step he takes to get closer to me, I'm stepping into unknown territory. With Jay walking me home, I feel protected, and that's a sensation I haven't felt in a long time. But protection and safety are two different things. And I can't help but wonder, am I safe with him? Or is inviting Jay into my life opening up a different kind of danger altogether? The devil you know and all that, I suppose. As I prepare for bed, I can't shake off the feeling that despite the protective walls he's putting up around me, Jay has walls of his own. Walls I'm not sure he's willing to tear down, even as he effortlessly breaks through mine. I fall asleep, wrapped up in a confusing blend of comfort and apprehension, wondering what the hell I've gotten myself into.
Roman.
I closed the door behind me, my apartment dark and eerily quiet as if sensing the storm that brews within me. I take off my coat and throw it on the chair. My phone buzzes on the kitchen counter, the screen lighting up to display Caden's name. I consider letting it go to voicemail but relent, picking it up on the last ring.
What is it?
My voice is terser than I intended. Got that surveillance footage you asked for, Caden says, cutting to the chase. This is fucked up and something we definitely didn't prepare for, bro. It's the Ladrone cartel. I pinch the bridge of my nose, closing my eyes as if that could somehow shield me from the gravity of his words. The Ladrone cartel. A knot of loathing tightens in my gut. I had hoped to avoid this complication, hoped that maybe Aella's stalking was just a random, disconnected event.
Do they know?
I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Not sure, but why else would they be after Aella? Caden replies, uncertainty clouding his usually confident tone. If they do know, it changes everything, Roman. I can hear the unspoken words between us. If the cartel knows about my plans, about the alliance my marriage to Aella would bring between her father and me, then the stakes are unimaginably high. For a fleeting moment, I feel vulnerable, as though the walls I've built are beginning to crumble. I snap back to reality. What are our options? We move fast, Caden says, unambiguously and to the point. We need to take them out before they make their next move. But, Roman, you have to consider what this means for Jay. Jay, the name stings, an alias that's been more of a shield than I'd like to admit. Jay was the part of me that could walk Aella home without ulterior motives, who could experience fleeting moments of what it might be like to be an ordinary man in love. In love? I cringe at the thought. I know, I say, my voice breaking the silence that had settled in my apartment.
Jay has to die.
And what about Aella? That's the question, isn't it? Every scenario I play in my mind ends with the same unavoidable conclusion: I'll lose her trust. The very thought makes me more furious than I thought possible, given everything else on the line. Yet, there's no time for sentimentality or regret. I'll do what I have to do. I finally say, despising how cold and calculated I sound even to my own ears. I was chosen for this, to be this person, this leader. And leaders make sacrifices. Even if it means sacrificing her? Caden's voice is laced with something I can't quite identify, judgment, perhaps, or pity. Either way, I don't want it. Especially if it means sacrificing her. I snap, hanging up before he can say another word. As I stand there, staring at the phone in my hand, it becomes painfully clear. The cage I built for myself, stone by stone, wall by wall, is inescapable. I'm the architect of my own prison, and the time has come to take up residence. In trying to claim Aella, to make her a part of my twisted world, I realized that I might have lost something far more essential, the remote possibility of redemption through her eyes. But thoughts like that are a luxury now, one I can't afford. I've got a cartel to dismantle, a role to step into, and a life to leave behind. All before the clock runs out. My phone buzzes again on the kitchen counter, jolting me out of my thoughts. I glance at the screen. It's Caden, calling back. I contemplate not answering, but the urgency of the situation overpowers my reluctance. I hung up too quickly, sorry, I admit as I answer the call. We should discuss how they found out, if they did. I've been doing some digging, Caden says, his voice measured. Turns out one of Leonardo's men recently defected to the cartel. We have a mole situation. A mole! I repeat, the word bitter in my mouth. Who is it? Some guy named Esteban worked closely with Leonardo on multiple operations. If anyone could leak the information, it would be him. Damn it! I mutter, my mind racing. Esteban had been close enough to know about the pending nuptials, close enough to be a guest at the wedding that was supposed to unify two families, two empires. Do you think Leonardo knows about the defection? I ask, now realizing that Aella's father might be in the dark about the entire situation. I doubt it, Caden replies. From what I gathered, Esteban disappeared without a trace. He probably contacted the Ladrone cartel secretly before making his exit. My jaw clenches at the thought. Get a picture of him sent through to me so I can keep a lookout. We need to handle this before it spirals out of control. Agreed. We need to find this Esteban and deal with him, Caden says. Meanwhile, we keep surveillance tight around Aella and possibly up our timeline. We might not have the luxury of time anymore. The wedding was supposed to cement my position, offer some level of protection for her, I confess, feeling as if the walls of my carefully constructed world were starting to close in. But if the cartel knows, then walking her down the aisle might as well be walking her into the lion's den. We may need to reevaluate that plan, Caden notes, carefully picking his words. The marriage won't offer her protection if the cartel decides to strike before that, or even use her to get to you. You know they won't play fair. So, what are you saying? That I should break it off? My voice rises despite myself. Ella is not just a part of a plan anymore, she's something far more confusing and real. And even though I hate admitting it, the idea of losing her makes my insides coil with a brand of rage and sorrow I've never felt before. I'm saying you should be prepared for any eventuality, Ro. You're smart enough to know that sometimes the plan has to change, especially when lives are at stake, Caden answers, offering a sober perspective that makes my stomach churn. We need to move on Esteban first, find out what he's disclosed. And we can't rule out speaking with Leonardo. He should be aware that he's been harboring a snake in his camp, I say, already plotting the course of action in my mind. I'll get on it, Caden assures me. You stay close to Ella. Keep your friends close, and all that.
And your enemies closer.
I finish the line for him, suddenly aware of its grim significance. I end the call and toss the phone back on the counter. The pieces are in motion, and there's no turning back now. The coming days will be a test of allegiances, of plans made and unmade. I know that Jay is living on borrowed time, and Roman will have to come forward, regardless of the fallout it will bring. I pour myself a glass of bourbon, the same one I'd given Ella earlier. The liquid burns its way down, leaving a trail of fire that doesn't come close to the inferno roaring inside me. As I take another gulp, one thought remains etched in my mind, refusing to be drowned. No matter what happens, the Ladrone cartel has made this personal, and I'll be damned if I let them or anyone else lay a finger on what's mine to rightfully claim.